chat, and this is live just to the Driven to Discuss channel, or is it also
Yes.
on both of our channels? Okay.
Just I should have did it on both our channels, but yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up on my iPad over here. Here we go. I got a notification when we went live.
I would say I can hear your notifications.
Yeah, I got to turn that down. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whoops. Turn the volume down.
I'm gonna see if I can.
Okay,
Wow,
there we
quite a
go.
delay.
I can see the chat now, so we're good.
Okay.
Sorry you can't see it. You on your computer?
No, I don't have my laptop. Right. I mean, I have it here at the house, but I haven't unpacked it yet. So
You only got one device then. All right. Well, I'll try to tell you the chat. Right here, there's a thing that says live stream chat. I should be able to pull this up.
okay.
So maybe we'll see.
Okay.
Get a couple people on here. Sorry, it's a little shaky. So, yeah, for those of you that don't know, this is Driven to Discuss. We don't generally do live streams, but what we do is Rich Warren, and myself, got your last name right that time. My wife gets on my case. Why do you keep calling him Warren? And I'm like, I don't know.
It's common. Everybody does it.
So Rich Warren, just Warren. We are both hosts of Driven to Discuss. We talk about mostly truck driving things, things that have to do with the industry. Yeah, we're both Walmart drivers, or we were.
Well, we still are.
That. Yeah, we'll get into what that's all about here in just a little bit. But and so I mean, we try not to make it all about Walmart. We try to make it about just the industry, and sometimes even completely get off that subject too, and just take it who knows where. But so normally we put this out on Saturday, which this will come out on Saturday as a video. But right now we're doing a live stream, our first one. I didn't really know what to name it because, well, we have a little bit of news. Rich has had a lot of life changes here, like all of a sudden and all at once, which isn't that how life changes usually go anyway, right? And so he's going to be doing a lot of talking, explaining that, and it may be of interest to you because it will change the dynamic of our channel a little bit. Like I said, we're both Walmart drivers currently, but he's going to be doing some new stuff. And I'm going to let him fill you in on that. And yeah, we're just talking. So what do you think, Rich? What's so new with you? What's going on?
So basically tonight, what I wanted to do is I wanted to ask everybody's help. I wanted advice from people. This is serious. I'm definitely in a little bit of a pickle right here. What has happened is in the last 10 months, 8 months, I'm not even sure. It's been less than a year. I moved out to Washington to do the Alaska runs. My dad passed away like 6 months late, not even 6 months, it was like 4 months later. And then in this past week, my dad's motorcycle was stolen. My brother, who was on a liver transplant list, and we weren't expecting anything to happen for 6 months to a year from now, had a random liver show up. And so Friday morning, he had his transplant. And I've been thinking, I mean, I love the Washington, Oregon area. I don't hate the Alaska runs. There's good things and bad things about the Alaska runs. I love Walmart, the company, but I'm thinking about making a change and I don't know what to do. So this is where I need everybody's help. I am single. I don't have any children of my own. And I am free to do whatever I want to do. I'm currently at my brother's house in Indiana because for the next 12 weeks, I'm going to be his caregiver. After that 12 weeks is up, I have to decide. Do I want to work for Walmart local, maybe out of Gas City where I originally came from, or do I want to go owner operator? And I know there's going to be a few people, the minute that I say go owner operator, they're going to say, oh my God, don't do it. You lose everything. And there'll be a couple people who will say, I've been an owner operator for 30 years and it's the best thing I've ever done. But here's the problem. Walmart, great company. If I go work at Gas City, I'll make about 110 a year, which is not bad. I know the culture. I know the people. I'll have to drive around Chicago. I'll have to do 5 days out or 6 days out. Um, I might be able to hit the gym a little bit more than I have been doing the Alaska runs. I won't have complete freedom though. I really miss being over the road, coast to coast. I miss having a dog in the truck. And I miss a lot of the freedoms that come with being an owner operator. If I go owner operator, I get those freedoms. I can stop wherever I want, whenever I want, however I want. It's my truck. If I don't want to run for a couple days, I can take a couple days off. I understand if there's a truck payment and there's bills to be paid, those bills come either way. But I get my freedom. I get the ability to go to the gym. I don't have to worry about cell phone policies or any of that other stuff. I can do what I want to do. And I've got a buddy who's an owner operator, and he's been doing this for a while. And we've run some numbers, and he thinks that I could bring home, after everything's all said and done, taxes and everything at the end of the year, almost double what I would make if I went to Gas City. Now, I understand I have to worry about an engine blowing up or expenses to the truck. In my mind and all my friends, they've told me that I should do the owner operator thing because I micromanage everything. I mean, even with this show.
Can we pause it? Let me ask a question
Sure.
on that real quick. So
Okay.
you say he thinks you're going to make double what you made at Gas City. Well, what'd you make at Gas City?
A 108.
So
But
he
that's
thinks you'll make.
gross. That was
think
gross.
Yeah, it's always gross. I mean, except for when you're talking owner op, you can't say gross because you spend thousands of dollars in fuel every time you take a trip. But as
Correct.
far as taxes go or health insurance, it's gross. So he's thinking that after, before taxes and before if you get health insurance or whatever, you're going to make 216-ish for the year.
Well,
That's what he's saying.
let me break it down this way. My last check at Walmart doing the Alaska runs for 2 weeks, normal pay, full week, everything was normal. My bring home, and I have the low insurance, and I have 1% coming out of my 401k right now. I have a lot of minimum stuff. I also am in the state of Washington, so I don't have state taxes coming out. After everything was all said and done, my bring home was $2,900 for 2 weeks.
Right.
My buddy, who's an owner operator right now, is bringing home $3,500 a week on a bad week.
Your bring
So
home was
he's
2,900 for
mine was
what?
mine was 29 for 2 weeks. His is 3,500 for 1 week.
But you were talking about Walmart 2,900 bring home.
Yes.
Yeah. But you're talking about all the insurances, you're talking about all the taxes.
And that's why I said I don't have state tax because I'm in Washington.
Right.
And I don't, and I have the small insurance, the saver plan one, because it's just me. So my insurance is not very expensive. So
Yeah.
and my 401k, I only have 1% coming out right now. So I minimized as many deductions as possible. And my bring home was still only 29 for 2 weeks.
Right.
And my buddy's doing 35 a week. So you figure 29 for 2 weeks or 7,000 for 2 weeks.
Well, I get that, but I think that the only fair way I'm only bringing this up because I'm going to hold you to it and we're going to see what it comes out to be. But sorry, I got mosquitoes out here. That's why I'm doing this. I'm out in the back porch. The way I'm going to look at it is, what is the gross pay, say, at the end of the year, and what's the gross pay at your new job or your new owner op thing? That's the best way to do it.
That's if I switch. Like I said, right now I still work for Walmart, and I could go to Gas City when I'm done helping with my brother. I could go to Gas City or Greencastle. Those are the two closest ones. Well, Spring Valley is pretty close, but I don't want to work in Illinois, and I don't want to commute to Illinois. I don't want to do all that. So if I do stay with Walmart, I will either go to Greencastle or I'll go to Gas City. Those are my two options if I stay local.
And those are a couple 100 miles a piece away, or?
Yeah, Gas City is a 3-hour drive one way, and Greencastle is probably about the same. It might be 2.5, 2:45, but it's about 3 hours. Either one's about a 3-hour drive one way.
That's pretty rough if you're going to work full time. I mean, I know it would be worth it compared to like in my situation. I I'd have a hard time driving that far every week. At least one round trip every week. That's kind of why I go with the week on, week off. But I don't drive that far. I drive. It's 310 round trip, but it's every other week. But money wise, I mean, it's worth it. But it's pretty tiring. You get off work and you want to relax, but you can't. you know, more
See,
driving.
the other thing that helps a little bit is my buddy that's doing the owner operator thing right now. He's got some direct customers, so it's not like we're taking everything off load boards. We're not taking everything from another company. He's actually building the business to where they have direct customers. So I'm making more because they're not paying out so many little middlemen, along the way, which is
Right.
why it's a little bit more profitable. And I was going to say a minute ago, all my friends think I should do it because I micromanage everything. Like when we do this podcast, I've got all of my stories in a folder or in a notebook or whatever. I've got a spreadsheet on the payments that I still owe my ex-wife for spousal support. I've got spreadsheets for the drivers that I had come on at Walmart from 3 years ago. I could go back and tell you the first guy that I had that used me as a referral because he's in the spreadsheet. So the fact that I micromanage everything, I have an owner operator mindset. I know I'm going to put so many cents away out of every single paycheck, so many cents per mile is going into a maintenance fund. So I'm not one of those guys who just, oh, look at all this money, and I go buy a fancy house or a fancy truck or a fancy motorcycle or any of that stuff. I don't need that stuff, because the other thing about being an owner operator is I could stay gone for 3 months at a time if I want to. I have
Right.
nothing holding me here at home. If I work
Right.
at Walmart and I get 2 days off, what am I going to do with those 2 days right now? I really don't. I don't
Right.
have anything holding me back or anything here for me to do. So I might just get bored, and
Well,
maybe I'll
I
go
know.
DoorDash or something. I don't know.
I know you're right because when you and I met, well, it took a long time for us to meet, but met online or on the phone. You sent me what was it? Basically, you were keeping track of referrals, and you sent me the spreadsheets and all the stuff. And I'm looking through my email, and I'm like, my God, you should be an accountant. I don't even want to write something down on a tablet, let alone all that you've done. And so you really would be the best for that type of thing. And that's why, that's where you're going to have the best opinion about, Walmart's not a bad place. It's just
Not at
that
all.
it's just not for everyone.
And
And
we both have always said that.
yeah. And so, I mean, I know if I didn't have a family, I would do great at owner op because that's what my focus would be. I would keep track of everything then because I wouldn't have anything else going on. But, since I do have a family and I got a whole life doing stuff, it would be a terrible decision for me because I would be split between my job and my home, and that would make both suffer, I think. And for you, you don't have to worry about that. I mean, as it is, you're doing the Alaska thing. So, I mean, that must have been a hassle all through winter and all that. If you're going to do
It
all
was
that,
rough.
yeah, well, if you're going to do all that, why not just get paid maximum? So once upon a time was saying you're right. Taxes are a killer at Walmart. We were talking last night on my live feed, and oh yeah, no, they are a killer. Um, you can have changed that or affect it. I mean, that's just jobs. There's nothing you can do about that. It doesn't matter where
Yeah.
you work. I
Any
mean, you're gonna
company I
have to
work
do
for is going to take out federal. They're going to take out state. They're going to take out Social Security. That's not going to change. So company to company, that's not going to change anything. If I'm going to work for a company, I'm going to stay at Walmart because Walmart's a great company. You've got the stock
right,
options. You've got the 401k. You can do the standard 401k or you can do the Roth. I mean, there's a lot of benefits for staying at Walmart. It's not just about the money, which, my
yeah,
buddy's making really good money. And that would be great because if I could be an owner op and just stack cash for about 10, 15 years, when I get to retirement age, I might be able to have a pretty decent nest egg if I can make that kind of money the way he's doing it.
well, I would imagine it'd only take you like 7 or 8 years, of as long as you're not blowing cash. Can you see I'm putting the messages or the chat on the screen there. Um,
Mm-mm.
well, they only appear for a minute and then they go away. But I think I think you have a thing here on the menu somewhere so you can see the live chat. I'm
Oh,
able to see it. It gives you a
um,
choice to see the live chat.
no, that said notes behind the screen. No, that's contact support. I don't see an option to do that.
Well, I can put them up on the screen. Like, here's somebody. See, I clicked the button. You should be able to see it on the screen right now.
I
No, it
don't.
doesn't show you.
If
Maybe
I was
not.
on a
Okay.
computer, it might.
So this is he's saying. I guess it's a he. He's saying, go with your gut, Rich. Do what's best for you. And then once upon a time, YouTube here. He was saying him and I were talking the other night, and yeah, the taxes are killer, and the slip seating drives them nuts. So
It would be
there
nice
is
to
that.
have. It would be nice to have my own truck that I can clean the way I want to clean, stock my stuff the way I want to stock it, have my dog. I'll be honest, having my dog with me is that that is really, really at the top of the list.
Well, I think that's on top of the list for a lot of people. Did you see that post last night? I don't know if you saw it or not. It was on one of the Walmart groups. There's a woman driver somewhere in the east, and she's the first Walmart driver that's able to bring her dog because
I
it's
saw the emotional support animal or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
And
So like, I don't know if
somebody
you
asked a
read the
good.
comments, but everybody's gonna leap all over that.
Well, I saw one of the comments, I think, and the guy asked, he goes, if you have a condition such that you need an emotional support dog, how are you able to pass the DOT physical?
I don't know, but everybody's gonna need an emotional dog now.
Yeah,
It's coming.
I have a feeling Walmart may just need to do away with the no pet policy or charge drivers a small insurance or a fee to allow them to have the dog. But I
Right.
think the biggest problem with Walmart and the dogs, because people are like, oh, well, the dogs could bite somebody. I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem why Walmart has a no pet policy is because there's dog hair, there's dog urine, there's dog feces, accidents happen. And if you have to share trucks with other drivers, no other driver. What if there's a driver allergic to dogs and he gets into a truck that he didn't know had pet hair? There's a lot of other things that could be a problem with, and that's why Walmart has a pet policy. It's not just accidents or
Well,
things like that.
I think it's follow the money. Don't they lease the trucks? I don't think they want a truck that's got dog hair and it smells like dog or been, chewed on.
That very
That's
well
just
could be
my
another.
guess.
That could be another. That's another great reason. Because think about it, they made all the trucks non-smoking just so that the smoke doesn't ruin the interior.
Right. Yep.
It's a
Yep.
very strong possibility.
I mean, that means that their return, I don't know how it works, but they lease them. Maybe it costs them something. I don't know, but it has something to do with money. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it.
So to the person that said follow your gut, that's where I'm torn because like I said, I could list you all the pros for staying at Walmart and it's great and I could do that and I have no problem with that. And then I could list all the pros with being an owner operator and I would love to do that equally as well. I know the pitfalls at Walmart and I think I know the pitfalls for being an owner operator, as far as expenses and repairs and you have to be good with your money and all of those type of things. So I mean, the risk of being an owner operator scares the hell out of me. The comfort of staying at Walmart is very easy to do. But then I also think, wow, well, what about the kind of money I could make? Could I fund my retirement and get things restarted after I lost almost everything I had between moving to Washington and buying a house I shouldn't have bought and my ex-wife taking almost everything.
Right.
I'm literally starting over right now. And should I start over by staying at Walmart or should I start over by going owner operator and trying to quote unquote hit the jackpot? So
Depends
what
on
I
what
want
you're.
to know is there's owner operators who came from being an owner operator to Walmart. I want to know why they came to Walmart. Why'd you stop being an owner operator? What happened? Was it your fault? Was it not your fault? Is it something that I could avoid? And if you're an
I can
owner
already.
operator, if you're an owner
I can tell
operator
you what.
right now, I want to know why are you still an owner operator? Should I do it? Should I not do it? I want to know thoughts from all sides of the coin here.
I can tell you why the owner operators come to Walmart, at least for most of them, because every time I find out someone's an owner operator, I'm like literally rushing to them, going, "Oh, I got some questions for you. Why are you here?" And the answer is always the same. Stress level went from 1,000 down to 0. They got older. They just got tired of the rush stress. What if the truck breaks down? Blah 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 blah. And then, of course, the other part is, well, I wanted to come home and meet my wife again.
See,
because
and that's
they
where the
weren't
owner
truck
operator
drivers.
really appeals to me because I don't have anybody waiting for me at home.
Right. Right. No, I think it'd be great for you. I mean, if you're after the cash, then it'd be the best for you. But people that have families or, want any kind of outside life, I wouldn't bother. You can do that if you want.
I mean,
I wouldn't even bother with it, to be honest with you. So Once Upon a Time says that I'm most likely going local, hauling bulk fuel delivery, gross less, net a little less, and home daily, Monday through Friday, weekends off. All the benefits Walmart offers except stock option purchase. But I forget, where do you live at? Once upon a time, not everybody has that, but that's good. You know.
well, and not only that, there's the one reason that we always get for people who are like, "Oh, I'm staying at Walmart. I would never haul fuel." All the things he just said, Walmart and hauling fuel are fairly compatible. But you're driving an 80,000 pound bomb. Some people don't want to deal with that. Some people
Right.
don't want to get out and jack with those hoses and deal with stuff like that in the wintertime or stuff like that in the summertime. At Walmart, the biggest problem that we have is waiting outside the back door for somebody to answer it and getting a mosquito
Right.
bite. I mean,
Right.
that's the biggest thing. So some people don't want to haul fuel for those extra inconveniences of being out in the weather, dealing with the hazardous materials, and it's easier at Walmart, and if the money is the same, and for the most part everything else is the same other than the home daily. Some of
Right.
the people that do the home daily thing, they're like, yeah, I work 12 to 14 hours, I go home basically long enough by the time I commute to and from, I go to bed, I wake up, and I go back to work. So is there really any home life to being home daily when all you do is spend it sleeping? So I mean, if you live close to the DC and you don't have to put in 12, 14 hours a day, that might work out for some people. And that's the one thing I've always heard about people saying, "Oh, I don't want to haul fuel because XYZZZ." Those are the reasons why they don't do it.
Right. So these says, if you go owner ops, do you have 35,000 for maintenance up front in case something happens? So what's your plan?
That is exactly what I'm looking at right now. I won't have 35,000. Um, but after I buy a truck of my own, I will not have a truck payment. My plan is to have 25 to 30 in the bank. Plus I've got
Whoa, whoa,
credit
whoa, whoa,
cards.
whoa. Hold on a sec. Go back. What do you mean you're not going to have a truck payment?
I'm going to I'm going to buy a truck.
Outright.
I've been looking on truck paper, and there's trucks out there that are about 15 to 25,000 with new motors in them, or they've got warranties on the motor, things like that. And the motor is
So
to me the
that
biggest problem.
that completely changes the dynamic of the conversation
Okay.
because um me, it doesn't really matter, but I think people, they're going to probably have comments on that,
Okay.
reliability, warranty, and do you have the money, like he's saying, the extra in case something goes wrong. That really changes the whole thing about, that right there. So that could be a really great thing or it could be a really bad thing. It depends on what you buy and what happens.
Yeah. So,
Um,
and just to be completely honest, this is what I've got going on. I'm going when I leave Walmart, I have to either cash out my 401k or I have to roll it over into something. I also have all of the stock that I have purchased at Walmart over the last 5 years. And I have a bunch of credit cards and lines of credit and things like that that I have built up and worked on over the last few years. So all said and done, I could buy a truck and have, if I liquidated everything, probably $30,000 to $40,000 available if I needed it after I purchased the truck.
so Once Upon a Time says, I would be a single axle haul delivery bobtail with tank. Now's the time to buy as far as used trucks, a dime a dozen currently. So
That's what my friend and I have noticed when we look on truck paper. The prices of trucks have come down considerably, and that's one of the other reasons why he's like, "Hey, this is a good time to do it." And I've had other people tell me the same thing. My family, my brother, which it's the only family I got left now, has
yeah.
told me that I should do it. My friend tells me I should do it, but then I've got people that I know that used to be truck drivers or used to be owner operators, and they tell me that I shouldn't do it. But the people that are telling me not to do it all have one thing in common. They all have a wife and they all have family. The
Well,
guys that are the guys that are
except
owner
for
operators that are telling me to do it are just out there living on the road.
Well, except for me though, I'm telling you ought to do it.
True.
Because I'm the one, I won't say I'm the one guy, but I'm one of the only guys on YouTube that's telling people quit worrying about money. Walmart's about a lifestyle.
Yep.
And they just don't want to hear that. Like, nope, I just want all the money. And it's like, then why come to Walmart? Because if you want all the money, there's other options depending on where you live.
And money isn't my only driving factor. I mean, it's interesting to know that I could make probably double what I'm making right now. But like I said, the other thing is I could have my dog with me. I'd have freedom to do what I want in my truck, when I want to do it, how I want to do it, which there's something said to that. But on the other side of the coin, I also know there's going to be extra stress of when something breaks down. I just can't drive it to the Walmart shop and say, hey, pay me by the hour while you fix my stuff. That's on me now.
Well, yeah, but that's part of, like I said, completely changes the dynamic of the conversation because, yeah, you may be in a shop, you may be in a situation, you may have to wait a week or so. Maybe they got to replace the motor or whatever, but you own the truck outright and you got money ready to work on the truck. So it's not instant death for you. But for people that have that payment coming in every week, and maybe they only saved a little bit of money and they have just enough for the repair, but they don't have any money to keep making that payment. And so there's that stress level going through the roof. Yeah, it's unpleasant for you, but you could sit there for weeks and be like, well, I guess I'll eat top ramen and whatever, drink water while I wait. And in the end, I'm going to be just fine. I'll be right back on it.
Oh, see, and that's not difficult for me because one of my main staples is this right here, these little cracker snacks of tuna. Because
Mhm.
since my surgery, I can't eat a lot. I don't eat a lot, and there's only two things that I really drink, and that's water and that zero sugar sweet tea by Gold Peak. That's the only two things I really I drink much of, except for my Starbucks. I will be honest, I have Starbucks. Yeah, I do that.
I was going to say, you got to have coffee. Come on.
I'm not a big coffee drinker. I like that real foo-foo, whatever it's called, caramel ribbon crunch from Starbucks. That's the drink that I drink. But I do have them put a shot of espresso in the bottom, not blended, and then I mix
Yeah.
it up myself. But I'll have one. I mean, wherever I can get one on the road with a semi. But that's my splurgy thingy, I guess, if you call it that.
So Lee is saying, are you thinking of getting your own authority or leasing onto a company? Now he's got a friend that just started a trucking company, which he actually wanted you to come on and be partners, right? But you told him
About,
no.
we talked about this about 6 months ago. But yeah, the company that he's starting is with a friend of his. He's doing the trucking side of it. The other friend is also involved in the trucking side, but he's more the financial backing slash going to drive as well. So that was some of the other things that I wanted to ask people about. If you're an owner operator, you've been an owner operator, based on the research that I've been reading over the last couple of days, I should be putting 10 to 15 cents away every mile into my maintenance account. Is that accurate? Because I was thinking about doing 20, and I know more is not going to hurt, but with prices and things the way they are right now, is 20 enough? Should I try to do more than that? And then once that maintenance account gets to a set number, let's call it 25,000, then I don't have to put into it anymore. Or should I keep? I don't know how that those little things. Those are what I don't know. And my buddy is like, "Oh, I'll show you. I'll teach you." I mean, he's been doing owner op stuff for I don't even know how long. It's been most of his career, most of his life. He actually owned a different trucking company at one point in time, way back when. And the reason he stopped doing it was because he had a lot of drivers that were tearing up the trucks. His maintenance costs were getting too high. And it was back, I want to say it was in '08 when the economy took a dump. He
Yeah.
lost his biggest account, and he had to basically, how companies, when they get into a little bit of a twist, like right now, they file Chapter 11 so they can restructure. That's
Yeah.
basically what he did. He chopped off a bunch of drivers and got rid of a bunch of trucks, and then he went solo, and then he had a guy, and so yeah, I would lease on to his company right now, because they're giving me a really good deal. I know a lot of companies out there are charging between 10, 12, 15% lease on fees. They're only going to do 10, and they're only the discussion is right now that they're only going to charge like the insurance cost, plate cost. They're not going to add a bunch of extra fees into the running of the truck. But I have thought about getting my own numbers. I thought about it 10 years ago, and I've thought about it now when he's like, well, come work for us and we'll work together and do this and do that. And I'm like, okay, maybe that's what I'll do. I've also thought about getting my own numbers if it works out to where I should. I don't know yet.
Right. Well, you can play it by ear. So T says, how much you plan to make driving your own truck?
Okay, so the discussion that we had earlier, right now, I brought home full paycheck running the Alaska runs, bring home with all my insurance, all those deductions, and I've got all my deductions minimized as much as possible. I brought home 2,900 for 2 weeks. My buddy right now, who's been running the same stuff that he's been running for months, averages 3,500 a week. So 7,000 every 2 weeks doing what he's doing, or 2,900 every 2 weeks doing what I'm doing at Walmart. And I don't know if it would be 29 still, because if I come to Gas City, I'm not going to make the 140,000 I make doing the Walmart Canada runs. I'm going to be doing local stuff again. And when I was at Gas City 2 years ago, I made 108.
Well,
Gross.
and you're gonna buy a truck outright. So
I would buy the truck outright off truck paper, make sure it's got a decent motor in it, have it inspected before I buy it. And I told my buddy that. He's like, oh, I got a guy that'll sell you a truck. And I said, well, I'm going to have it DOT inspected. He goes, oh, I know the guy. He's a good guy. I said, dude, I don't care if I'm buying it from my own father. I'm having it inspected to make sure there's no problems, because I'm not taking any chances.
Right.
So
these says, I would say go for it. You only live once. Being your own boss is the goal for every truck driver who desires to stay and loves the industry. Well, I love the industry, but I really don't desire to be a boss. But that's just me.
and I agree with what he said. I used to own my own DJ business for about 15 years. I loved owning a company. I loved being my own boss. But I will say the fact that a rebuilt motor cost about $25,000 scares the shit out of me. The fact that
I think it's more than that, isn't it?
I'm just on average, just average cost from what I've been reading online. I mean, tires are hundreds of dollars a piece. I can't imagine trying to change 18 of those. Water pump goes. I mean, just anything that could go wrong. Hell, a tow bill. If I had to tow my own truck somewhere because I couldn't fix it or it couldn't be fixed on the side of the road, that's at least four figures off the bat, I would imagine. So I know
the Freightliner guy came to Red Bluff, and he was telling us all about the Freightliners we were getting and the motors and everything. And he said it was 60,000 at that time to replace those motors. I don't know if they're talking about new or rebuilt or what.
That's those newer trucks, though. I'd be buying an older truck that doesn't have DEF. I'm not playing with that DEF system stuff. So that's why I said I'd buy an older.
You get away with that out there, but not out here.
I have no problems not running to California. And talking to my buddy, he's okay with that. He's like, yeah, I understand that completely. He goes, if I bought a truck, he goes, I wouldn't buy one with DEF either.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, his truck won't have DEF when he gets his.
Well, you'll take a lot of headache out of it right there. So these says, always have something going into maintenance because you control the money and you can use the extra if needed. I was going to say, I mean, you don't have the family. You don't want to go home. I mean, for the most part, what would it hurt just to put extra in? I'd put extra even if people recommended less, because, I mean, what are you going to do with the money? I mean, you're in the truck driving all the time, so why not?
That's kind of how I felt about it. But, I was reading online where some people say, yeah, you just put money into your maintenance account until it hits like 50,000, and then you can cover a motor or any other thing that goes wrong. And then you can stop putting into it, blah, blah, blah. And I was kind of like, well, yeah, but I'm like, if the money's in there, and if I make the maintenance account what is that thing I've got? Like a money market account that draws interest. Well, why wouldn't I just go ahead and keep dumping money into it? It's my money either way. I know it's for maintenance, but if it's got $100,000 in there because I'm really good and I don't have a motor blow up for 8 years,
well,
so what?
And that was the other thing I was going to say. If you get to a certain threshold, I mean, you can take that money and make money somewhere else. But I mean, if it's an account that makes money, well, then you're kind of justifying it right there. So that's good.
Yeah, so I'm looking for advice from both sides of the owner operator coin, and I'm also looking for advice from people at Walmart still, because I don't have to leave Walmart. I could stay at Walmart. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm kind of torn down the middle. When my brother gets better and I'm no longer needed here, What do I do? Because that's when I have to make the decision, is in about 12 weeks. Because he
Well,
just had his transplant on Friday. They just took the breathing tube out today. So I expect him to be home in the next 7 to 14 days. And then they told me that I'll probably need to stay with him anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks. At the 12-week mark is when Washington and Walmart no longer pays the family medical leave. So I have to go back to work in some capacity. I'm trying to decide, is it going to be Walmart local, or am I going to give my own business a stab?
right. Well, the good thing about Walmart is that if you don't burn any bridges when you leave, you're welcome to come back. Of course, you'll have to go through the whole process again, but
I don't know if I could pass the onboarding. I heard it's gotten really tough lately.
yeah, I don't know. I guess I say I've never had to do onboarding because I was hired here 18 and a half years ago, so I don't. They just give you a pat on the back after we took a ride. But I'm going to find out at the end of this month because they want all of us to basically do onboarding every year to brush up on our skills or whatever.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't tell you that. I should have told you.
I
I
haven't
don't
heard
know.
anything. Is
I
that
don't know
just
if
your
it.
DC?
That's what I was going to say. I don't know if it's company wide or just. It's probably just our DC. I'm pretty sure it is. And so they're scheduling everyone, but it's not 5 days. It's only 2 days. But we're going to do everything that the onboarding people did. I haven't said anything because I was going to make a surprise video about it.
You can
But
edit this out.
no, it's cool. I mean, I'm going to, I can't film there. So, I mean, I wouldn't even try it. Actually, that'd be rude, but I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to say what I've gone through. And, well, my hope is I totally rule it and be like, okay, I went and did this. If I can do it, you guys can do it. You know, um, I don't know if it's a test, like, pass. It's not a pass or fail thing. I did ask that. I go, what if you fail? Are we
You're
fired?
fired.
They said, no, 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 it's not that. It's just we're all gonna do it, and yeah, I don't know. So I can actually say I've done it like everyone else because yeah, it looks really hard. It seems like it's everything that was at the DMV when I got my license almost 25 years ago. So I don't. That wasn't that hard. It didn't seem hard, but then again, I was
I
younger.
think what I think what messes people up the most is they get in their own head. They know, oh, I only have 30 minutes to do this, or I only have they worry too much about the time. And I think that's what messes most people up because everybody I've talked to, they're like, yeah, I was in a hurry and I timed out, or I was trying to get in before the time ran out and I hit a trailer, or everybody I've ever talked to that's failed has always said something about the time. And I'm like, why do you guys
And
worry about the time? You do this every day of your life. You don't have a clock then and you do it just fine. I
yeah.
think you let the clock get to you.
Well, yeah, I think it's all mental. By the way, um, what's up there, Dirty Broke? I see you in there. Um, yeah, no, I haven't gone through it, but I talked to a lot of different people, and it's always intimidation. They're intimidated by the guy standing there with the stopwatch over the top of them, or the fact that there's that they're being timed, or the stress of whether I'm going to get hired or not. And it seemed to me that mentally people just completely screw themselves up because they
Yep.
got intimidation. Again, I am swatting mosquitoes, so don't think I'm crazy here. I'm outside. But so T says, have you looked at how much health insurance costs would run you?
Yes. And the guy that I'm thinking about leasing onto, I'm not sure how they're going to do it. They're talking about for their W-2 drivers that they want to bring in, they're going to pay their insurance 100%. So I don't know what that means for me. That's another topic of discussion we have to have if I do decide to go owner op. I have looked at like Blue Cross Blue Shield if I had to go on the marketplace and buy it myself, and it's not that much different than what we deal with at Walmart.
Right.
So
Well, it really depends on the person. I mean, I haven't been to a doctor and for anything like being sick or anything. I haven't been since I was, I don't know, 14 years old. Um, so for me, insurance is basically just I have to have it for the family, and I wouldn't say it's a scam. It's a good thing to have, but I noticed these insurance plans. You read them, And it's about people that are always wanting to go to the doctor, or like, I got a snip, or I got a hangnail, or I got this, and they're like running to the doctor, and I'm like, why are you going to the doctor? Stepping up there, Buttercup. But so it just depends on you. I mean, health insurance, you can get major medical. That's probably what they're going to pay for anyway. What, you know, probably
I would
just be
think
major
so.
medical. Yeah. So I don't know. Depends on the person.
But yeah, I mean, the insurance thing, we've discussed it lightly, but we haven't gotten into great detail because they're waiting for me to make a decision on what am I going to do. And honestly, right now, I don't know.
So have you told work yet that you're out of there, or not out of there, but I mean, you're taking your leave or anything?
Oh yeah, I've filed for the 12 weeks. I've done the family medical leave. I've done all that, but I haven't even told Washington yet that I'm probably not coming back to do the Alaska runs. And that's another thing. I could go back to what I was doing. My RV is still in Washington. Most of my belongings are still in Washington because when my brother had this surprise transplant the other day, I just packed up my car with what I could fit in it and headed out this way because I was going to be here for 3 months.
Well,
I
what
could go
I'm
back and do the
yeah,
Alaska runs, but now that I've been thinking about it, the Alaska runs were fine and all, but and I had a great partner. It's nothing against my actual teammate, but
yeah,
it would be nice to not have to try to sleep while we're bouncing down the highway because those Alaska roads are
yeah,
absolutely horrendous. And I've
yeah,
noticed that I'm not sleeping well lately. I've noticed that I'm having more back pain lately from bouncing around while we're driving. And I think I want to be done doing, and I mean, I could run local back in Washington if I wanted to, but I kind of thought maybe I needed to be a little bit closer to home,
yeah,
only for the simple fact that what if something happened to, just like with my brother, he needed a liver transplant. It was easy for me to come back to Indiana. But what if I'm in Washington and I'm the only one out there and something happens to me? Am I going to have to expect my brother to come halfway across the country and uproot what he's doing? He's got kids here. He's got stuff here. I think it's selfish of me to just assume that somebody's going to come rescue me. Now, if
yeah,
I'm doing the owner operator thing or if I'm whatever, I can swing back here through the house all the time. There's tons of freight coming right through this Chicago area. So
right.
I would actually be closer to home by doing the owner op thing than I would be doing the Alaska thing or working local for like Gas City or Greencastle here in Indiana if I stay with Walmart.
Right. Well, I do see an opportunity to mention, and I'm assuming it went this way for you. Anytime I've ever taken leave, and maybe other companies are this way, but I always like the fact that, let's say, well, my mom, she had to have a surgery, and we're allowed to get, I forget, 10 days off or something like that to help. And then it's weeks for my wife and things like that. But anyway, for my mom, I just called when I found out she needed the surgery. I just called HR and said, "Well, what do you need me to do?" And they said, "Nothing. You told us. That's it. We're done."
That's
And
it.
I was like, "Great. I don't have to come back to work tomorrow." And I
Yeah,
don't know
I
if other companies are that way or not.
No, Walmart's really, really good about stuff like that, especially when it comes to family. Like when my dad passed away, my GTM said, yes, you technically only get 3 days, but he told me, he goes, just let me know when you're coming back. He goes, take all the
Yeah,
time you need. I'm like,
all the
I
time you
mean,
need. Yep.
and they send you a card, all the people in the office sign it and
Yep.
send you a card, sorry or thank you or, happy birthday or whatever. Walmart is a great company to work for, which is why this is not an easy decision for me to make.
Right. Well, and that's all life stuff. If you're going to be an owner operator, then you're focusing. I mean, yeah, you could focus in on you being your own boss, or you have freedom and all that. We have a lot of freedom here. I mean, I suppose you'd have more freedom because you can have your dog, or you can talk on the phone, 14 hours a day while you're driving, and then never. You're gonna have to worry about it with lawyers if you ever get in an accident. But anyway, that's another
Correct.
conversation. But overall, we have a lot of freedom here. So it just seems to me it's all about making money. Period. I mean, the rest of that stuff's pretty weak.
Yeah, making money, having my dog is a big thing for me, and not like I said, if I do the local Walmart thing here, I don't have to worry about having a teammate and all that kind of stuff. So those issues go away. I'll be able the truck will be stopped, so I'll be able to sleep. So that issue goes away.
Yeah.
So it does come down to mostly money, but it also comes down to comfort because, like I said, Walmart is a very comfortable place to work. Yeah, you got a slip seat. Yeah, even if you get your own truck, like when I was in Gas City, I ran 5.2 and I had my own truck. Somebody might need that truck for 2 days when I'm not in it, and when I come back, there's been somebody in my truck. So it's not like I could just leave all my stuff in there. So there's pluses and minuses to both.
See, that's why I do the 5 on 5 off, because it's my partner in the truck. Truck never stops moving. 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Truck's always moving, and it's my partner in the truck. And we leave our stuff. I don't leave. I don't really take nothing on the road. I mean, we leave our coffee pot, our microwave in there. What else did I really need? I mean, I have coffee and I can make food. There's a refrigerator in there. I'm not gonna load it with food and leave it in there. I just bring my duffel bag with my video gear and my underwear and my pants and things, and which I don't even do that. That's all at work, and you pick it up anyway. So I mean, for me, the 5 on 5 off, when people say, "Oh, slip seating, someone's in my truck," I actually like the fact that somebody's in my truck in this particular situation, because I know my partner. We get along great. And if anything's going on with the truck, he sends me a text and says, "Hey, this is up. I got it in the shop. They may not have it ready in the morning. Make sure you go find out." And then I'll call that evening before I go back to work and be like, "You guys have it in the shop? Are you going to be done?" And that kind of thing. So I get a heads up on everything. And it actually works better than me having my own truck, because I don't know who used that truck on my days off. Let's say it was 5 on 2 off. I come back, it doesn't have fuel in it. There's a bald tire. I don't know what. They're not going to tell me nothing. So working with a partner, it's perfect. It's like I know what's happening, and I don't even have to be at work. So it just depends, really.
Yeah. Anyway, so if you're an owner operator or you're not an owner operator, you used to be an owner operator, you're at Walmart, whatever. I'm just looking for opinions on both sides of the fence to kind of figure out how I want to do this. I mean, one minute I'm like, man, I would love to be an owner operator, but then I'm like, man, I'm really not going to like having those bills. But then I'm like, but I'm going to make a lot more money. So I'm really I'm just stuck. I don't know what I should do. So I figure maybe if I got some opinions from people who are owner operators who've been there, who've done it, you know, maybe they tell me something that clicks, and it's like, okay, that's what I want to do then. I don't feel like I have all the information. I've been trying to do research online, but I read one website and it says you should put 10 cents into the maintenance account. I read another website that says you should put 12. I read another website that says you should do 18. And it's like, I don't feel like I have all the information to make the best decision.
Well, I got a question for you then. So nothing against your friend or whatever, but I mean, have you thought about, trying what you're saying, and then maybe at some point try to get your own authority? Or
I've thought about the own authority thing. I've thought about just starting with my own authority, but I kind of thought maybe I was for a year, see, whatever. And then if I don't like it, I can sell the truck, go back to Walmart or whatever I want to do and be done with it.
right,
Or maybe a year from now, I've learned a little bit from them. I've gotten my feet wet in the owner operator game. I've kind of gotten things figured out as far as how much do I want to put in maintenance, what kind of truck do I want to have, all that kind of stuff. Then get my own numbers and save the 10%, or is it better to just pay the 10% knowing, okay, they've taken care of all that. I don't have to worry about it. But, if you're running 10 to 14,000 a week, 10% that's a pretty good number.
well, if I wasn't married, you know what I would do? I would just go all in, and I wouldn't do my own authority, because there's a lot of details there on getting the right loads, and that just sounds like you're asking for trouble. I would, your friend, he's got a track record, he knows this stuff. I would just let him teach you everything, because you're going to learn all this anyway, what he's doing behind the scenes. I would just rake in all the cash I can do. I would just stack cash like crazy. And then I would just flat out retire and go buy me a house somewhere like in Hawaii. That's just me, you know.
That's definitely been my thought. Because, like I said, I won't turn 50 until February of next year. I'd like to retire at 65. So if I could do the owner operator thing and do it well and put in 10 to 15 years and save my money, because I don't have a family. I could live on the road. I could live in that truck for a year. I don't have to go anywhere. I could just work, 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 work. What kind of, and he goes home every weekend. He's got a wife. He's got kids. What if I didn't go home every weekend? What kind of money could I make? No idea, because nobody I know is doing it.
So is he driving too then?
Yes, he does.
Oh, okay. So he's going through the same experience. So yeah.
He's been an owner operator for forever. Like I said, he had his own little business where he had trucks under his authority and all that stuff. But then when the economy took a crap, and I think it was the '08 part that did him in. But like I said, he had a bunch of guys just ruining his trucks. I don't plan on doing none of that. I don't plan on having guys lease onto me. Maybe if I ever expanded, that would be the only way I would do it. I would not buy trucks. I would not put guys in my truck. I would not do any of that. If I did have my own numbers and a guy wanted to lease on, maybe I would do that, but I don't have any aspirations of really doing that right now. My thought is I want to do what I want to do in my truck, my own way, my thing, and just go.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like a good plan.
I mean, there's guys out there, they got those real nice trucks with the like queen bedrooms on them. I mean, they're like huge trucks. Those guys have to just live in that truck. There's no way that, I mean, how do you afford stuff like that to they have to be
Right.
making enough money to afford it, is I guess what I'm trying to say. Otherwise, they wouldn't have those.
Right. Having your own this is T. Having your own authority means you have multiple hats, back office, compliance, accounting, etc. 10% is not a lot for companies. So
Kind of what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking myself. But I also know that there's a company out there that you can pay, I think it's like $700 a year, and they do all of that for you. So if they get me my own numbers, if they handle all the DOT security, the tablet like safety stuff, if they handle all of that, $700 a year is not a bad deal for that.
Yeah.
And then I don't pay anybody 10%. I keep that 10%.
Right.
And I don't mind. Again, I'm a micromanage type person. I don't mind keeping track of some of that stuff, because I'm probably going to keep track of half of that just because I like to nerd out and have fun with that stuff. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's going to be some good knowledge for our audience. Not everybody wants to share everything. So, I mean, you'll be saying your journey all along, getting advice from people who know what they're talking about. I know T knows what he's talking about.
yeah.
And yeah, this will be good for the channel. This will be good for people that get told a bunch of false stuff, because we're going to have a community actually putting their 2 cents in, and then you're going to be living it and tell us whether that's good
Yep.
or bad.
Yeah. And that's something else that I didn't really think of till you started saying it just now, is what does this mean for my YouTube channel? Because right now my YouTube channel is very stagnant, because I never meant to start a YouTube channel. I did one video thinking maybe 10 guys will see this and that would be the end of it. I never thought I'd have 3,500 subscribers. I never thought guys would walk up to me in a Walmart DC and go, "Man, I saw you on YouTube. Thanks for your videos. Your information really helped me." I never
Yep.
thought any of that was going to happen. But if I go owner operator and I don't have to worry about rules and regulations of Walmart, and I can make better videos, does that mean a better YouTube channel?
Oh yeah, of course it does. Well, for one, you can do those videos people like where you're driving down the road, which I wouldn't recommend doing that for Walmart, but
No, but I could do that in my own truck, because I've got that dash cam that you advertised. I've got the stuff to do it, and I don't have
right.
to worry about somebody saying, "Oh, you touched that camera while you were,"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is exactly why I never do videos. Well, I've done a few, but I try not to. I just try to talk to people. When I started my YouTube channel, I had no intention on it being really much to do with Walmart, but I kind of got pigeonholed into it because that was most of the questions people had. My whole story is that, almost 25 years ago, trucking was, no one wanted to talk to you if you were a brand new driver or you only had a year or two experience. Like it was like, get away, kid. We ain't got nothing to say to you. And I didn't have the internet then. I mean, we did. We had dial up at the house. But, I mean, yeah, exactly. And I didn't have a smartphone. I didn't even have a flip phone. I had one of those Nokia little bricks or whatever.
Yep.
So I couldn't just get online and be like, how do I navigate this? What do I do? It was all about just figure it out. And I swore back in those days, if I can ever help other people, I'm going to help them. And so my intention was to help people that are getting into truck driving and not make stupid mistakes or screw themselves or whatever. And then when I started the YouTube channel, of course, I mentioned Walmart, and that's the content that took off, But I think I was talking to you about this earlier. The channels in trucking where they're owner operator, and it's not just the owner operator thing, it's the vlogging thing. Like you're living that life in the truck all the time. Those are the most popular. I mean, those people have got, hundreds of thousands of subscribers and that kind of thing. And, I've been doing this for 3 years and I'm just now coming up on 5,000 subscribers, and I put a lot of work into this. So, I mean, yeah, your channel is going to take off if you take it in that direction. It'll take off a lot better. I think so.
Okay. So, like I said, if anybody's got any thoughts, if they want to make comments on the video, that's fine. If they want to email me, I don't know if you can throw my email up on the screen for people, but if nothing else, we'll put it down in the description so you guys can email me. Don's got that email. It's the drkaraokedj@gmail.com. And I really need to get a better email. It's nobody can spell it, and it always it messes people up, but we'll put it in the description so you can get it without worrying about how to spell it and all that. But
so it's DRKARAOKE.
Yeah.
Right. No, I think I can put it up on the screen. Well, I think that we're gonna be doing. I'm gonna repurpose this live, and let me see if I can copy the darn thing. So I'll put it on the screen right now, but we'll put it on the repurpose. Let me see if I can do it here. Yeah, I can do it. That's weird. So, you can't see it.
Now that showed up. That showed up under your name. It popped up in the left-hand corner there.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
So, and it put it under your picture. So I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Today is July 15th, and I've got about 12 weeks to figure this out. I'm not going to wait till the 12th week to make that decision because I want to let Walmart know what's going on and figure out how to handle all that. So pretty much what's that? July, August. So basically by September 15th, if you're watching this after September 15th, your comment may or may not make any difference. But if it's before September 15th, email me, comment on the video. Tell me what you think. I mean, I like constructive criticism. Don't be a jerk. That doesn't really help anybody. But if you've got positive or constructive criticism, I want to hear it because anything people tell me, I'm going to take with a grain of salt and I'm going to think about it, and it may factor into my decision.
Well, we're going to put this out Saturday morning, so
okay,
maybe see what happens there. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see what happens for sure.
And I'll be honest, the thought of going on owner operator is exciting because I miss being over the road. When I first started driving truck the first 2 years, that's what I did. I was coast to coast, north to south. I was everywhere. And maybe being an owner operator with my buddy, maybe there's a better gig out there. If I bought my own truck and it's a little older, it doesn't have DEF and all that, maybe there's a different company that I could go work for. Maybe there's runs to Canada that I should do, or I don't know. Somebody out there is going to have information that I've never heard or that I don't know, and it's going to give me something to think about. I'm sure of it.
I think Dirty Broke might be able to help you with some of that there. He wants me to pass his number on to you. So
okay.
He knows a lot of people. Matter of fact, that's how
I was going to say his whole family has done fuel for 4 generations. So not to be ignorant, but what is he thinking? What's he got that I need to know?
Well, he has all kinds of owner operators on his channel. He knows all kinds of people. T, the reason I know who T is because T was on his channel, which he has a great story. And
Okay.
he's got a lot of knowledge I think he can pass on to you there, but I'll let you guys talk
Okay.
about it.
Well, if they email me, I'll give them my phone number and we can talk. For the next 12 weeks, I'm going to be doing nothing here but playing home nurse to my brother. So
Yeah. Yeah. Sleeping on a bed that doesn't move. That's going to be great, huh?
it's been real nice these last couple of nights. I'll tell you that.
So, well, I mean, you're planning on living in the truck, but I mean, you're welcome to live at your brother's, right? When you are
Yep.
out. So that's going to make it pretty easy for you there.
Yep.
So
Yeah. He's
where are
told
you at now? You're in Chicago right now?
I'm in Lowell, Indiana, just about 22 miles south of Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Now it'll take you 2 hours to drive 22 miles, but I'm 22 miles from Chicago.
I do remember that from back when I used to be over the road.
It is horrible out here.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember going
I,
down trying to go underneath it, and that didn't really do any good either.
I miss Washington already. When I woke up this morning and it was only 82 degrees and I walked out the door and it grabbed my breath and my glasses fogged up.
Yeah.
I'm done with this. I'm so done with this that I can't stand the weather in Northwest Indiana because it was 106 last week in Washington and I was out doing yard work, barely broke a sweat. I took a shower this morning. I walked out the door and I was more wet than I was in the freaking shower because the humidity is just awful here. And it said on my phone, 82 degrees feels like 89. And I said, bullshit. It feels like a lot more than 89.
So it's
Already,
like, that's because they're all used to it out there. You've been gone for what,
I know.
2 years?
About a year and a half. About a year and a half.
Yeah, you got to reclimatize to that weather.
I don't want to. Give me a load to Texas. Give me a load to Washington. Give me the hell out of here.
Won't be long. You'll be in your truck with the AC going. You won't even know.
Well, and that is the other thing that I've thought about. Like if I work at Gas City or I work at Greencastle, I've got to deal with the humidity in the summer. I've got to deal with the -20 wind chill that blows off the lake in the wintertime. I mean, granted, if I'm driving in a semi, I might be having to deal with the weather going through Montana. I mean, I get it. I still have to deal with it, but I could maybe drive away from it if I find a load. Like in the wintertime, I don't want to go that direction. I want to go that direction. I mean, I have the ability to try to avoid it if I want to.
So now you could be one of those guys that say, I don't put chains on. I just stop it and wait till the road open. You could be one of those guys now.
Yeah, but if I'm an owner operator doing that, I'm not making any money either. So,
Well, if you own your truck outright, you can afford it.
Yeah. No, definitely. That is the number one thing. I am not going to have a truck payment. I'm not buying a brand new truck. I'm going to buy a good used truck with a motor that's been recently done, that's got a warranty on it. And I don't care about the aesthetics of the inside. It could have a purple fender and a blue fender. I don't care about that. I want a mechanically sound truck that I can start this with so that I can build up. And then maybe I'll buy a little bit nicer truck, but maybe I won't. Maybe I'll keep the non-def truck forever. Or maybe I'll get into a Kenworth or a Peterbilt or something that's a little bit nicer that, what I don't know. That's down the road. I'm not really even thinking about all that yet. I'm just thinking about getting started the best way or transferring to a different Walmart DC. Those are the two things I'm thinking about right now.
Have you ever watched the channel called The Helpful Trucker?
As a Walmart driver that travels through Alaska that doesn't have signal hardly 90% of the time, I don't watch anything.
Oh, okay. Well, he's a guy that's out. I forget what state he's in, but he's over on the East Coast, and he's an owner operator, but he does like old trucks, like trucks. I swear they're from the 80s. I don't recall what he said, what year, but I think he does a local thing, and he's an owner op. And I bet he'd have a bunch of knowledge for you on older trucks and what's wise to buy and what's not.
I've got
He does pretty
nothing
good.
I got nothing but time right now. I'll check that channel out for sure.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. Yeah, definitely. So let's see here. GB will definitely give you some knowledge nuggets for sure. He has been on both spectrums of the industry. Yeah, that's right. So
Okay. I thought he always hauled fuel because he said his dad did it, his grandpa did it, he does it, his daughter's doing it.
yeah. I thought he did owner op before all that, but yeah, I'll let him
Okay.
tell the story. But
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that.
yeah, and that's one of the things about having a YouTube channel. I want to help people, but I've never done the owner op thing. I was literally at the point where I was going to sign a lease. I was going to sign a lease, and I went home that night and I thought about it, and I go, no, don't do it. And
Nope.
so I've always been company. I've been at Walmart for all these years, so I mean, all I can really do is pass knowledge on, and just regurgitate what other people have said, and look at their lives and see how they turned out to see if that's good advice or not. That's the best I can do, really. You know.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to do a lease purchase. I'm not going to do none of that. If I can't buy my own truck, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all else fails, you can always come back to Walmart. But I tell people
Yep.
it's mostly a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle type of
Yep.
work and all that. So.
Yeah, no, and I've thought about that too. Everybody keeps telling me, like, well, if you go do the owner op thing and it doesn't work out, what's the worst that's going to happen? You go back to Walmart, and I'm like, probably, yeah.
Well, how long have you been at Walmart?
Be 5 years, January 7th.
Man,
Four
that's
and a half years.
quite a bit of seniority, but I mean,
Yep.
yeah,
That's
I don't know.
something I've thought about too. I'd be giving up all that seniority. I'd have to start over if I had to come back to Walmart.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I look at you and I look at Crespo because you guys do different things. Crespo's the OTR of Walmart, which is rare, and then you do the Alaska thing, which is rare. And I'm glad you guys have done that, and I've got to meet you because now I know I never wanted to do that. I'm in the best spot right now. I mean, yeah, okay. So you guys have that guaranteed $500 a day thing or whatever because of bonuses and everything. But I mean, I pretty much do my ADP is 491 right now, and I kind of average out like 470, 450, and then that day I go home, it's less, and it's like, okay, so I don't have to deal with sleeping in the truck, being gone for a week, you know, wondering if this guy's going to get in an accident while I'm sleeping or nah, I'm cool.
No, like I said, I have a great partner. I trust my partner. He's a good dude. He's not an idiot. He's a good, safe driver. But it's just, man, the roads have just. I don't know if it's I'm getting older or what it is, but the roads up there have just gotten worse, and the ride is rough, and it's just. Being out and doing all that 6 days, coming home having one day. So, when you're a local Walmart driver, you have that 10-hour break to relax and sleep and make an actual meal and all of those things where I can't do that doing the Alaska runs.
Yeah.
And and you mentioned that your ADP was 500 a day. In Gas City, my ADP was only 425, 430.
Yeah, but
So
you're a pretty new driver though, so that's not
I
bad. That's
I
pretty
was
good.
at Gas City for about 2.5, almost 3 years, and that
Yeah,
was that was the best I could do with my ADP.
well, um, yeah, after you've been here a while though, you get more cents per mile, you earn PTO more. I mean, it kind of adds up.
Yeah, but not $75 a day. I think there's people on the East Coast that are saying they can't get 400 a day ADP just because of the traffic or the DC, the way that the roads are, the way the stores are at, the loads that they have to run. There's lots of differences from one DC to another. When I went to the skid pad training for Walmart, about a month ago now, whatever that was, there were two guys in that class from, I think it was St. James, Missouri. I think that's where they were from. And they were like, "Oh God, your ADP, you guys are only making 525 a day doing Alaska. I make that." And I was like, "Dude." I'm like, a lot of people say that they make 550, 600 a day at Walmart, but how do I honestly know? Dude broke out his phone, logged into his Walmart account, and showed me his ADP, and it was like 573 or something like that. And I'm just like, I
Well, yeah,
couldn't
but
touch that with a 10-foot pole at Gas City. There's no chance because I ran. I'm not one of the slow, chill dudes. I like to run, and I could never do that at Gas City. But these
because
guys were GM out of
they got
Missouri. They'd
open
run to,
road.
yep,
Yeah.
they were all over. So, if I do stay at Walmart, maybe I don't go to Gas City or Greencastle. Maybe I go to St. James, Missouri. Maybe I pick a DC that's got way better money.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm kind of confused right now. I don't know what to do. I mean, in a perfect world, if I had a crystal ball and they're like, yes, if you became an owner operator, you'd be successful. Great, I'll go do it. But the risk really scares the crap out of me.
Yeah, well, you don't have a lot to lose, so.
Yeah, just a $50,000 401k account and some stocks that I sell just because I run a truck into the ground.
Come on, you're a Walmart driver. You can afford that. So DB says, I won't discourage you or encourage you. I'll just make sure you check all the boxes.
That's what I'm looking for.
Right. Yeah, no, and I feel that way too about trucking in general. I don't want to encourage or discourage random people, but whatever it is you're gonna do, I'll encourage you. And if it's something I don't know, then I won't discourage you or encourage you, either one, because I have no business doing that. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. So that's why I thought tonight, if we did this live, there's a lot of people out there. We've got a lot of followers or watchers, subscribers, whatever you want to call them, that I figured they would have some good advice for me one way or the other.
So once upon a time, there says my ADP bounces between 395 and 409, and I run my ass off.
See?
Off.
That's what I'm saying. I bet he's on the East Coast because all the East Coast people tell me that a 400 ADP would be great.
Well, the thing is that it also has to do with schedules. I haven't figured out the math on the other ones, but I know it all matters because I've said this before. I work 5 on, 5 off. They divide the number 7 into a pay period of 14 days. Well, what if I work extra? What if I work 10 days? I mean, simple math, divide 7 into 10 days. It's going to up your ADP big time. And I know we're there in Red Bluff. I was doing it to where I'd work extra, and I would literally my days off. I would I'd use my PTO for days off to do 34-hour resets, and I started getting above 525. And somebody at my DC caught that, and they were like, "Hey, you can't do that." And I'm like, "Why not? I'm working." I would imagine it would have rose up to 600 if I had kept doing that. I wasn't trying to game the system. I was just trying to make extra money. But so little things add up. You can't work extra if you're 6'2", or if you work 5'2". How much extra can you work? Like half a day or something?
Pretty much.
You don't really have any options. This is the thing.
No. Yeah. Now, if you do the 5-2, 5-3, you can extend every other week, for a full day or whatever. But the thing with the 5-2 though is to get that extra day, you have to cut your hours back because you can't run 14 every single day. If you run 14 times 5, you're done. So you got to scale back and do 10 to 12 every day so that on that 6th day, you've got enough time to actually get out and do something, not just collect the little bonus they give you, but you got to actually put some miles in. You got to put some work in, or that check that day isn't really going to amount to much.
Well,
but then you're shorting the other days in order to make the 6th day. So
they're going off. They're going off duty every chance they get. They're saving.
Oh, absolutely.
Hours.
Yep. Yeah. I used to play that game. Like I said, when I was in Gas City, I ran pretty hard, and I did all the little tricks. Went off duty for everything when I'm not. Like you're in the store, I'm off duty instead of on duty unloading. I did all that.
Yeah. So once upon a time says he's 6'2", Wednesday out, home Sunday.
Yeah, see, now 6-2 can't extend at all because on that 6th day, you're using up what hours you have left throughout the week. He'll never be able to get the extension bonus. But 6-2 is decent because I've got a schedules. I should send that to you just so you can give it to people. I've got a schedules guide where I sat down and broke down every single schedule, the pros and cons, and kind of what the money would average out to based on what I was doing in Indiana.
Yeah.
So it'll at least give people an idea of the concept of the schedules and how it works.
Yeah, you can give an idea, but I mean, it seems like it's all really simple. But what I've learned the longer and longer I've worked here, it's actually pretty complex. I just keep giving everybody the clue because they don't think it's complex. They're like, "Oh, it's not complex." And it's like, no, the little things add up. And these schedules, if you look at things like extension bonuses, how much you're going to go off duty, you know, whatever. There's all these things, and it actually gets kind of complex. It's not as simple as, well, I got a 6-2 or this or that or whatever. I can actually make more money than anybody else because I have the options to work extra. If I worked extra all the time, I could be working. I'd be getting like 1 day off a week if that's what I want to do. Well, you know, you keep doing that over and over again, and it adds up. They're dividing it by 7, so
And
my schedule
instead of
turned
the
into,
13 or whatever.
yeah, I can make more money than anybody else on working half the time if I worked extra constantly. Man, the mosquitoes are getting me good here.
Well, we've been on here for 75 minutes. If you want to go, I think this is probably a decent spot to.
Yeah, no, sounds good to me. I got about a billion mosquito bites. I thought it was a good idea to be on the back porch, but man, they are out. So we're going to talk about this more in the future, I'm sure. I mean, you're just starting this journey, and I'm excited for it. And actually, I'd like to get you on my channel on a live, besides our thing here, to talk about this stuff once you get some time doing it, and get some feedback on the whole thing. So, anyway, as usual, you guys have any ideas or any suggestions of who we should have on? Maybe somebody we can have on Driven to discuss. Go ahead and email me. I'll put my email in the description. Also, Rich's. You didn't do the Warren report,
I
but
didn't. If you want me to throw one in there real quick, I can.
okay. So normally we put what's called the Warren report in the middle, and Rich has some interesting stories that he does, and yeah, sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's silly. So I'm going to go ahead and let him take it away before we cut this off. Go ahead.
All right. So the first story I got is actually a trucking story that I read last week, and it was Trump inks changes in trucking. A lot of you guys have heard recently about the English mandate, how they've been pulling people into the weigh scales and all that. That English mandate wasn't the only thing that he had in that executive order. There were things that had to do with safety, regulation changes, stopping cargo theft, parking funding, and many other things. As part of the package, the Department of Transportation will deliver more than $275 million in grant funding to expand parking access for truck drivers. The grant includes $180 million to the state of Florida to add 917 truck parking spaces along the Interstate 4 corridor that runs in the center of the state through Volusia, Seminole, and Osceola counties. The remaining 95 will be available nationwide through discretionary grants that will open up later this year. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I didn't get any of the other stuff on far as like what he was doing to stop cargo theft and things like that. But
Right.
we all heard about nothing but the English mandate. I've never heard anything about any of the other stuff that it done. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
The next story I got is these chips are the bomb. A century-old device had a rusty, mud-covered exterior with its innards still very much capable of causing a dangerous blast. Built in Germany for combat efforts of the Great War, a grenade was reportedly harvested alongside potatoes in France and then shipped to Hong Kong, where the company had found the grenade amongst the potatoes. The Hong Kong police force quickly deemed the device as an unstable condition and resorted to high-pressure water firing technique to safely explode the century-old grenade in a sewer grate in an empty alley. I
Wow.
thought that was kind of cool. Find a 100-year-old grenade in your potatoes.
Oh, I wonder if that's on YouTube. I should look that up.
Could be. I've got links for these. If you want me to send the links, you can put them in the description and then people can go check out the stories. I just give you like the synopsis of the story. So this story I thought was really cool because I'm getting up there in age and I'm like, I don't want to be one of these people. You ever walked into a nursing home or just been around like grandparents in their house just it has that same stinky old people smell.
Yeah.
Some studies suggest that eating mushrooms regularly can help reduce the body odor associated with aging, often referred to as the old person smell. This is due to two compounds found in mushrooms, ergothioneine and spermidine. My ex says that tastes gross, which combats the formation of the compound responsible for the odor. Here's a more detailed explanation. The odor is primarily caused by the breakdown of lipids in the body, specifically to the two non-anal, whatever the distinct things that I talked about just a moment ago. The mushrooms, particularly shiitake, oyster mushrooms, are rich in the ergothioneine and the spermidine. And how it works is the two what is that called? They have powerful antioxidants that protect against the aging of the skin and the lipids to stop that cellular whatever destruction. I want to say not decontamination, but anyway. So those two mushrooms actually will help combat the skin cell loss that causes the old people smell. The experts recommend consuming these mushrooms 3 to 4 times per week as part of a balanced diet to potentially reduce to prevent or development of old people smell.
Well, I may have to start doing some mushrooms then because I'm getting older.
I knew it. I knew you were going to do
it. Well, good. So that's the Warren report. You know, sometimes it's off the wall, sometimes it's in between. So, I was concerned we were going to have another one about, or have one like we did here a couple weeks ago. The ancient used
condom.
Yeah.
I try not to get perverted all of the time. It was just that one story was just too good for, and being that Dave B was on the show with us, and I've talked to Dave B. I've been on his podcast and I knew him. I thought that was the perfect story that I could mess with him and it wouldn't be offensive to anybody. So
yeah, that was great.
I try to pick my spots.
All right then. So like I said, drop us a line if you guys watch this. And give us some suggestions. You know, there's 352 weeks out of the year, and we're trying to get somebody on this show every week. And I don't know that many people, so I can use your help.
Yep.
If you know anybody that would be a good fit, I mean, something to do with the industry. They can be dispatch. They could be an owner of a company. They could be a driver. They could be, who knows,
mechanic.
Yeah, mechanic. Yep, truck mechanic. Lots of stuff. And then for Rich, his email will be on there, and these some of these wild stories. If you guys know one that you just it'd be good on the show, send that to Rich, and the email will be in the description. So that's what I got. Well, cool. Looks like this is our first live. It came out pretty good. We normally pre-record. I'm gonna repurpose this. It'll be out Saturday morning unless I get lazy. And yeah, let's call it a wrap.
All right.
Well, thanks, Rich. I'm glad you made it this time with everything that's going on. And yeah, I hope you have a good week, man.
Yep, you too. And we'll get together next week and do some recordings to keep things going. So
sounds good.
All right.
Catch you later.
Peace.